minds to the psalmist with the hope that words of poetry will turn our sorrow into song and our memories into visions and deeds of love. Psalm 121, I lift my eyes to the mountains. Where will my help come from? Esa enai el-harim, me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai, ose shamayim, shamayim, The 23rd Psalm accompanies us as we lay our loved one to rest. It is a prayer and a plea for guidance, no matter what we are facing in our lives, whether walking the path of tranquility or the path of loss. The psalmist tells us that God will walk the path with us. Adonai Elohim lo echsar, bin otesh yaritzeni, al menuchos, yenaleni. for the sake of God's name. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of God forever. There is a phrase we say in Jewish tradition when someone dies, may their memory be for a blessing. But those words invite a question. What is the blessing that person created in the world? What is it that remains with us long after they are gone? As I listened to Jerry, Steve, and Elise's words and memories of Sandy, certain words came up again and again. Sweet, pleasant, caring, gentle, everyone like her. In fact, it seems that nearly everyone who knew Sandy has been telling her family the same thing these past days. What a sweet person she was. And it was true. But that's not the whole story, because alongside that gentleness was something else, strength. Sandy was a fighter. She cared deeply about people, but she could also push back when she needed to. You couldn't run her over. Beneath her kindness was a quiet determination that carried her through life and through challenges that would have overwhelmed many others. Born in Cleveland on June 21st, 1952, Sandy enjoyed many of the simple joys of childhood: camp, horseback riding, friendships, and the experiences that helped shape the woman she would become. And then, through what can only be described as a bit of fate, she met Jerry. The story sounds almost like the scene from a movie. Jerry had already graduated from college, but returned to a mixer at Hillel because a friend's band was playing, and he wanted to hear them play outside of the practices in their basement. Sandy had recently come out of a relationship and decided it was time to stop sulking and start socializing. A mutual friend named Helen introduced them, and then promptly faded into the backdrop so that they could get to know one another. There they were, two young people from Cleveland with remarkably overlapping worlds, including the same last name. They knew many of the same people. Sandy even knew some of Jerry's relatives. They had attended high school only 2 years apart, yet somehow had never met until that night. Sandy joked to him, "Oh, you're the one everyone asked me if you were my older brother." Right place, right time. And from that meeting grew a partnership that would last more than 50 years. They were married on August 4th, 1974 at Fairmount Temple in Cleveland, and together they built a life filled with devotion, family, resilience, and love. What stands out so clearly is how much Sandy gave of herself to the people she loved. Elise remembers making frequent trips to the library with Sandy during her childhood, nurturing a love of reading one stack of books at a time. Sandy would drive half an hour each way 3 times a week to support Elise's athletic pursuits. Those hours on the road were acts of love disguised as promises. For Steve, she sat through wrestling meets, cheering from the bleachers. At first, she hated the sport. Watching her son grapple with other people was difficult for a mother who cared so deeply. But she kept showing up, and when Steve found success, she celebrated right along with him. That was Sandy. She showed up again and again. She and Jerry created family traditions that became treasured memories. For 15 or 20 years, the whole family camped at the High Campers community. What began as 3 tents eventually grew into a pop-up camper and then a trailer with a bathroom. As Sandy's health challenges increased and walking became more difficult, those camping trips became harder, but the memories remain. Years of family, friendship, and shared experiences. Sandy also found joy in music. She loved concerts at Pine Knob near Detroit and Blossom Music Center in Cleveland. She cherished her friendships through her tribe here at Temple Bethel, a community that, as Jerry noted, accommodated her limitations with kindness and grace. Those friendships mattered deeply to her. And then there were the cats. Over the years, Sandy loved and cared for many feline companions. She also loved the family dog Freckles, although she occasionally found it frustrating that after all of the training that she provided, Freckles seemed determined to listen only to Jerry. That too is part of the story of a life. The little frustrations that become family legends and eventually make us smile through our tears. But perhaps the most defining chapter of Sandy's life began almost as soon as her married life did. During the first year of their marriage, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. For half a century, Sandy lived with MS. For 50 years, she adapted, adjusted, persevered, and endured. She continued her education, first becoming a medical secretary and later returning to school to train as a medical records technician. Even after going on disability for her illness, she continued doing part-time medical work because contributing and helping others mattered to her. And she kept fighting. The word fighter is often used casually, but in Sandy's case, it is entirely deserved. For 5 decades, she faced the realities of a disease that slowly took more and more from her. In recent years, one of the hardest losses was her memory. She knew it was failing, and that awareness was painful. Yet even then, there were moments of light. Jerry understood that although recent memories slipped away, the memories of long ago often remained. He would bring up stories from years past and Sandy would brighten. He would take her to the mall, to the park, out into the world. Not because there was something urgent to do, but because he wanted her life to remain filled with experiences, companionship, and dignity. That devotion says something beautiful about their marriage, and Sandy's response says something beautiful about her. Even as so much became difficult, she continued to find joy in connection. In her final years, the challenges became greater. Once able to use a walker to get around inside the house, she had to switch to full-time wheelchair use. Eventually, she needed more care, and Jerry moved her into an assisted living facility. Just 4 days later came the first of several seizures that ultimately took her life. And still, those who knew her are amazed by how fiercely she fought until the very end. The blessing of Sandy's life was not found in grand public accomplishments or headlines. It was found in steadfastness, in showing up, in caring, in driving the extra miles, in sitting through the wrestling matches, in trips to the library, in years around campgrounds, in friendships nurtured, in concerts enjoyed, in animals loved, in a marriage sustained through joy and challenge alike. And perhaps most of all, in demonstrating that kindness and strength are not opposites. Sandy was both, gentle and determined, sweet and strong, pleasant and resilient. As we mourn her loss today, may we hold tightly to those memories. May we hear her laughter in family stories. May we remember her perseverance when our own challenges seem overwhelming. And may the love she shared continue to live on through Jerry, Elise, and Steve, and all who were fortunate enough to know and love her. May Sandy's memory truly be forever. Ecclesiastes wrote, "The eye never has its fill of seeing. Young or old, those who depart this life never see enough of the world, never complete their task, never cherish their loved ones enough before they are called home. How they yearn for yet another respite from the final summons, and how we yearn to have them close to us for yet another challenge in our lives, yet another joy, yet another precious moment together. God, be now with those whose hearts are broken, because whenever parting comes, it comes too soon. Console them at this moment. Be near to them when light seems distant. Sustain them, O God, until the time of faith." We continue now with the memorial prayer, El Malay Rachamim. If you are able, please rise. Find the shelter of perfect peace in your embrace, among the holy and pure whose light shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold her close to you forever, so that her soul may be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May she find a home with you, and may she rest in peace. And together we say, Amen. We're going to continue in a moment with Kaddish Home, the mourner's cottage. If you would like the text of the prayer, you can find it in the Siddur, the prayer book that is underneath your seat on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitchadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma tivrach cheruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayichon u'vyomechon u'chayei l'kol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithagar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei l'kusha b'ribu. Le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran ve'alma ve'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom yiramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom yiramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru. brief announcements before we conclude. Among the many ways we can honor Sandy's life, donations can be made to the National MS Society. There will be no burial today, so please feel free to remain here after the service to comfort the family and enjoy some light refreshments. I and the entire clergy team of Temple Bethel are sending love to you, Jerry, and your family as you continue to navigate this time of mourning and loss. As our ritual comes to an end, I leave you with these traditional words of comfort. Hamakoni nachenetchem b'tov sha'ar adonai Tzion Yerushalayim. May you be comforted among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. Zichronah livracha, may Sandy's memory